Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to show you how I flipped the main level of my side split home. We took out 4 different walls and turned it into a stunning, fully renovated and classy space. Much more functional and open. How did we live through it? How did we do it? Watch and see. I wasn't exactly sure if these walls were load bearing or not, but I knew they were coming out one way or another. There's 2 ways you can go about this. If your trusses are engineered, which means the exterior walls are what's carrying the load of your roof down to the foundation. If you don't have engineered trusses, then you will need a support beam in the center and it has to carry all the way down to the foundation. Either option I was okay with. I was hoping for engineered trusses, but I knew that I wanted to open up the space, so if I had to put a beam in, that's what I was going to do. Although we didn't have an exact plan, we knew we had a ton of demo before us. We want the space as physically open as possible. So we started smashing walls out. My biggest tip when you are doing demolition and you are living in the home and it is a main area you're not able to tarp off or cross off, do your demo in chunks. If you have 4 walls to take out, take 1 or 2 out, remove all of the debris, have it livable, and then remove the other 2, whether it's a few days from now or you're doing it on the weekends. That way you're not feeling extremely overwhelmed with the demolition and living through it. So we decided that the first 2 walls that had to go were the walls that separated the kitchen from the rest of the space. We were able to take the cupboards down, remove the walls, and that way then my electrician could come in, reroute the wires back to where we wanted them for the future space. And if we didn't get to demo for another week or so, we weren't going completely crazy. We do have hot water baseboard and there is an L shape that we have to remove and put it into the floor. If you want to know how to do that, let me know. I don't ever touch any electrical unless it's just to swap out a light. So I had my electrician come in and deal with all of the wires that were hanging down. That was done and the hot water baseboard was put back into the floor. I needed to focus on the ceiling. I'm keeping all of the floors as is until the ceiling is done because drywall and removing stucco gets super messy. The floor is ugly, yes, but again, it's livable. I've linked my stucco removal video here with in-depth directions on how to do this. I've done all of the removals in renovations myself, and yes, I test for asbestos first. This is honestly the only part of the renovation that you can't live through, not easily anyway. It's messy and there's just no way around it, but it's only for a few days. Most of my renovations, I do 85 to 90% myself. Drywall mudding is just not one of them. I remove the stucco, I patch the ceiling, I even do the first coat of bond, but I know my limits, and drywall mudding is something I do not enjoy and I'm not very good at. So I do hire out for someone to come in and do the finish coats. We even had a birthday party amongst the renovation. So anyone who comes over, guess what guys, we're saving money and we are renovating ourselves. And once it's done, I bet you they wish they would live through some crazy as well. My favorite part of a renovation is when the drywall is done and it signifies a midway point and you're over the hump. The reason I kept the carpet down was so that all of the drywall mud and dust had something to fall onto for easy cleanup. That way I don't have to scrape it off the subfloor. Now we're just cutting it into 3 and 4 foot widths and rolling it up and taking it away. My daughters love to get involved, so they are helping me with the cleanup as well as taking up all of the carpet edges. Now flooring is pretty expensive, so although the professional thing to do would be to lay out the flooring first and then put all of the cabinets over top, my island is so large that I didn't want to waste 2 boxes of flooring underneath it. So I am building it first. I'm simply framing 16-inch on center for the back side and then adding cupboards to the front. If you're interested in building your own island, I will link my video right here and as well in the description on an in-depth version of how to build a kitchen island. But before I put the flooring down, I'm going to be adding a layer of additional subfloor. The reason for this is that my subfloor currently is only 1/2 inch thick and you can literally bounce your way around the house. It's just terrible. So I'm going to be using PL Premium for the wood glue and screwing it down every 6 inches, making sure that I use longer screws to tie into the joists underneath as well. This will make the floor incredibly sound with no creaks and perfect to lay your new flooring on. We have kept most of my cupboards intact along the main wall during this so that we could live and keep everything inside, but now it's time to take them down. It's a really good thing that he's tall. It's time to build our kitchen. There's no need to fix the drywall behind that because I'm actually going to be putting the new cupboards directly over top. I sat at the top of my stairs for weeks trying to figure out how I wanted to lay out the kitchen. It was probably the hardest decision in this renovation, and any renovation really, because it's something that you're tied to. I narrowed it down to symmetry. That was the most important piece in this reno. I wanted the uprights on either side of the window and then the island right across. I want each upright to mirror themselves. One will house the fridge and then one will house the dishwasher. I didn't want to mess around with any more plumbing, so I kept the dishwasher at the same spot in the right side. But this left quite a bit of space on either side because the dishwasher is a lot slimmer than the fridge, so that's where I came up with the idea of putting in the wine racks. Some of the kitchen is custom, like the uprights. They are double ply, so they look thicker and beefier. And then some of the kitchen is IKEA. And if I had my time back, I would do custom for the entire thing. For the amount of time it took me to put the boxes together and then secure them to my liking and brace them up in the bottom, I should have just built custom. Lesson learned. That it was quicker and easier and more effective, and it's really not. Not for this anyway. The cabinets are in, the facing is on, I'm waiting on the doors, and now I can put my flooring down. I got my flooring at Kent Building Supplies here in Nova Scotia, and I absolutely love it. Before you put your flooring down, though, make sure it sits in the space for 2 to 3 days to get climatized. Mine sat for weeks because life happens. And when you're ready, lay out the floor, especially if there's a variance in color and length, because then you can see it before it gets installed. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to install it. This is an engineered floating hardwood floor. Yes, you will see me sneak a few nails in here and there where the base subfloor beneath the one I put on has still some imperfections on it. Otherwise, it's just a click down and it's very simple and quick to install. Because my countertops were a few weeks out from install, I actually just put 3/4 inch plywood on it. That way we could continue to use the island as if it were finished. We could put the stools under, the kids could eat at it, I let them draw on it. We just had to wait. And I'm very, very glad that we did. The stonework is absolutely stunning. The day they came was like Christmas to me. It was quick, easy, and impeccable. Then I started to paint everything out in white because everybody paints everything in white. But then I quickly realized this is not even what I want. This is not how I have envisioned the space. I always thought about it as dark and moody and bold. So I found a beautiful charcoal color and I did the walls, and yes, I did the ceiling as well. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I hope this helped you. I'd love to chat with you in the comments if you have any specific questions. All of the links are in the description. Let me know what you thought. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.